Stevenson, and so on, as Goodall said, was making us all weirdly English. People felt weird to be English. Well, that was Hollywood's contribution. That was maybe on a lower level. He neglected nothing. He set up William Stevenson, who afterwards could read the whole story in a book called A Man Called Intrepid, in his office in Rockefeller Center, and his aim was to destroy the American First Movement, to intercept mail, to tap wires, to spread rumors, to spread disinformation of every kind. It was William Stevenson who handed Roosevelt the famous map of South America. You might remember that one time at a press conference, Roosevelt waved around a map of South America, showing the Nazis dividing up South America and imposing and destroying all religion. Churchill, especially Roosevelt, kept harping on the fact that the Nazis were destroying all religion. I don't know what they thought was happening in the Soviet Union at the time. So this disinformation turned out to be totally fraudulent as the British, and also insanely stupid. You understand? With the German attack in South America, via Dakar, in Western Africa involved, the logistics would be difficult. They couldn't get across the English Channel. Okay, but nonetheless, all this nonsense was retailed to the American people. But really, the most important thing was what was happening at the highest levels. Okay, and there'd be much to tell you. Let me just limit it to this, because here the British documents have been released finally after 30 years. On January 1st, 1972, documents concerning the Atlantic Charter being released. I'm reading to you from the Associated Press item. Formerly top secret British government papers made public today said that President Franklin D. Roosevelt told Prime Minister Winston Churchill in August 1941 he was looking for an incident to justify opening hostilities against Nazi Germany. On August 19th, Churchill reported on aspects of the Newfoundland meeting that were not made public. Churchill said he obviously was determined that they should come in. If you put the issue of peace and war in Congress, they would debate it for months. The President has said he would wage war but not declare it. He would become more and more provocative. If the Germans did not like it, they could attack American forces. Everything was to be done to force an incident. And that's the way it happened with Greer and other ships. Meanwhile, he didn't ignore the fact that war, as you can read in Richard Lamb, in the relevant chapter in Richard Lamb's book, Churchill as War Leader. We can talk about much of this. The fact of the matter is that Winston Churchill in the First and Second World War both used our people as he used the Greeks and the Turks. For all his gush about the English-speaking people and their great mission in history, we were pawns in his game. And afterwards, when we heard about Pearl Harbor, Churchill openly said, this is what I've dreamed of, this is what I've aimed for, this is what I've worked for constantly. And now it's coming back. Okay. We could now we're talking about this great, epic, the last good war. We could talk about the Churchill's attack on the French fleet at Marseille-Cavier. You're not really allowed to bombard the ships of your ally without a declaration of war. In wartime, that's considered. But let me try to make it clear. At one time, there was a controversy over whether Churchill and Roosevelt were involved in this, and we could talk about the breaking of the secret code and so on. But the fact of the matter is that now there's not a controversy. When Stevenson's book came out, Bill Buckley had a column saying, yes, what would you expect a great man like Churchill to do? He had to do it because he was acting against this terrible monster, Hitler. He had to fool Americans to come into war. He had to lie to the American people. I think the only one who denies this now is Professor Harry Jaffa in his article in Modern Age, where he's indignant that anybody should say that Churchill somehow helped get Americans in the Second World War. Professor Harry Jaffa says, didn't the Japanese bomb Pearl Harbor? Or do you think Churchill bombed Pearl Harbor? Which shows you what happens after many years of studying the works of Leo Strauss. You become a moron. You have to read that to believe it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have now appealed a number of war crimes, the worst of which is the destruction of the cities of Germany. The aim was to destroy cities, the aim was to kill civilians. Balmer Harris was Churchill's agent in this. If you want to know who Balmer Harris is, let me say that he was Churchill's General Sherman. And let that sink in. He was Churchill's General Sherman. They killed 600,000 or 700,000 Germans. They destroyed an urban culture of 1,000 years. But it meant nothing to this great conservative. That's what I love. Real conservatives, Henry Reagan, Eric Van Dean, those are real conservatives. And you read what they have to say about Churchill. Someone who wisely destroys the great centers and treasures of what we are, Western civilization. Okay, the highlight, of course, was the destruction of Dresden. In 3 nights and 3 days, Dresden was pounded with bombs. At least 30,000 people killed. Baptism was 100,000. Its Finger Palace was under Upper House, Our Lady's Church in Valentia. Royal Terrace, overlooking the Elbe, where Turgenev's fathers and sons. Uncle Pavel says, I'm going to go there to spend my last years at the Royal Terrace. That was obliterated together with everything else. If they had never heard of Dresden and Manhattan and Georgetown, but they had in Stockholm and Zurich and in London. And this is what our hero sends as a memorandum to Harris, to Balmer Harris, his chief of bombing. It seems to me, this is Churchill. It seems to me that the moment has come when the bomb question of bombing German cities simply for the sake of increasing the terror, though under other pretexts, should be reviewed. Otherwise, we should come into control of an utterly ruined land. The destruction of Dresden remains a serious warning against the conduct of battle bombing. I feel a need for more precise concentration instead of acts of terror, wanting destruction. Churchill is the one who instigated it. So Harris and the other air lords just throw it back in his face. What Churchill wanted to do is get this in the record. This is what his whole historical work is about. Of course, he enjoyed writing this, but to create an image which the world will then have of him forevermore. But they threw his pen back and refused to accept it. He's trying to do pretend that you had nothing to do. We have the order. He said, let's start bombing things in the east. How about some of these big cities that haven't been bombed yet? So in Churchill, we have the butcher of Dresden. We have in Churchill the patron and mentor of Marshal Tito. His advisor once said to Churchill, well, with all this aim was sending Tito, and the aim was denying to Mihailovich, it's going to be a communist country. Churchill said, you take a look there. And then General Albert Wannenmeyer says, okay, Churchill put Tito in charge of Yugoslavia. What happens to his so-called soft underbelly strategy? Tito's not going to allow this happen. Tito's not going to allow Western armies to go through Yugoslavia, so he controls Yugoslavia. What is this fantasy of Churchill? He pampered Stalin, against Stalin, everything Stalin wanted for years. Now he starts looking around, getting very scared, because we don't live there. He lives in Europe. In 2008, this war's winding down. What is there going to be between the white snows of Siberia and the white cliffs of Dover? You might have asked himself that question before. I wonder what you think of a statesman who does not realize that the extinction of Germany in Europe has certain consequences, right? Is this a Metternich? Is this a Bismarck? Or is this maybe a Woodrow Wilson, another Prince of Fools? We started with the welfare state elitist, and we could talk about the repatriation of the Soviet citizens, Alexander Solzhenitsyn and the Gulag Archipelagos. The election, but he did try to To win it here, this is what he said in 1945, you must rank me and my colleagues as strong partisans of national compulsory insurance for all classes, for all purposes, from the cradle to the grave. Architect of the warfare state, architect of the welfare state. It seems to me that there are a number of positions one can take on Churchill. It's tempting to see him as a flawed creature who was summoned somehow at a critical moment to do battle against a uniquely appalling evil, sort of like Merlin in that great Christian libertarian novel, that hideous strength. If you know that novel by C.S. Lewis, Merlin has that role. But the interpretation that appeals to me is quite different. That he was from first to last a man of blood, a man of the state, and the ongoing apotheosis of Winston Churchill serves to corrupt every standard of honesty and morality in history and politics.
Ik heb door de storm, ik heb helemaal tot hem is weg. Ik heb hem geweest, ze laten perfect. Dit lieve gaan, straks aan het door. Nu was je vent, miljoenen woorden. Om nooit een shit, ja te dit slow. It's not funny. Straks aan eten door, ik heb zo de store. Ik heb vrede gedaan, wat drummen is weg. Ik heb eventueel, ze laat dat perfect. Straks aan eten